बताइए परसों से आप तुम खोए काफी लोग हम लोग जा रहे थे कब आइएगा
जी आगे कहीं कॉर्नर में बैठे हैं
나는 다 근데 뒤에 통선남이 지고가 같은 그런 데 근데 저 가버리면 잘안 지게 오지면 엔도 가면
करवा शाम को बोल देना हम
घटे ये नहीं करता है देखते क्या और मैडम ठीक
हाँ ठीक है
बच्चा लोग ठीक
क्लास को भी नहीं दलाई लामा का सुबह हाँ तो कैमरा मैन है आप भी ना कौन दूसरी बार बोल रहा है उसी तरह का सिक्योरिटी सब भी घूम रहा है पलके खा रहा है पूरी खा रहा है लाल मिर्च था साला एकदम लग रहा है टूट पड़ा
The Honorable President, may I request you to kindly rise.
दिक्कत हो गया आदमी कैसा बैठ जाइए
Good afternoon, Honorable President of Bihar, Shri M.L. Srivastava, Joint Secretary, Ministry of Culture, Government of India, and Vice Chancellor, Nalanda Mahabihar, Nalanda, and Geshe Navang Samten, Vice Chancellor, Central University of Tibetan Studies, Sarnath, Ministry of Culture, Government of India. To begin with, may I request Shri M.L. Srivastava to kindly felicitate our honored guests on the dais. Shri Pranab Mukherjee, Honorable President of India. Shri Ramnath Kovind, Honorable Governor of Bihar. Shri Nitish Kumar, Honorable Chief Minister of Bihar. May I request Dr. S.P. Sinha, Registrar, Nav Nalanda Mahabihar, Nalanda, to kindly felicitate Shri M.L. Srivastava. And I request Shri Pradeep Kumar, Director Culture, to kindly felicitate Shri M.L. Srivastava. Mahabihar, Nalanda, to kindly render the welcome address and present his report on Nalanda Declaration and Action Plan. Shri M.L. Srivastava.
His Excellency, the President of India, Dr. Pranab Mukherjee sir, Chief Guest of the function. His Excellency, the Governor of Bihar and President of Nalanda Mahabihar, Nalanda Society, Shri Ramnath Kovind. Honorable Chief Minister of Bihar, Shri Nitish Kumar. Professor Geshe Navang Samten, Vice Chancellor, Trust, Sarnath, Minister of Culture. Other dignitaries, ladies and gentlemen, On behalf of the Ministry of Culture, Government of India and Nalanda Mahavihara, it is my proud privilege to extend a very warm welcome to you all, particularly to the Honorable President of India, Dr. Pranab Mukherjee, a man of deep wisdom and vast experience. Sir, your gracious presence as the Chief Guest of the Valley are very much indebted to His Excellency, the President of India, for his kind presence here. Sir, today is a momentous occasion in the annals of the Nalanda Mahavihara and Ministry of Culture per se, as it is an institution which has been famed to always take the road less traveled, while giving due importance to research and teaching in Pali and Buddhist studies, along with other subjects, inter area, philosophy, ancient history. His Excellency Shri Ramnath Kovindji, Governor of Bihar and President of the Nalanda Mahavihara Society, who has always been gracious to accept our invitation to guide and supervise as a guardian. I extend a hearty welcome to you, sir. Needless to say that under your guidance, Culture Government of India and Nalanda Mahavihara have highest admiration for your contribution in the development of NNM, that is Nalanda Mahavihara, and Shwensong Memorial Campus at Nalanda. I am sure the NNM would continue to get all-round support from the Government of Bihar in its endeavors. Kindly accept our hearty welcome, sir. I would be failing in my duty to participate and deliberate upon the theme which is very much relevant to the present to prevent the world turmoil. I welcome you all to this valedictory function. It is envisaged and also prescription for tackling the crisis humanity is facing was ferreted out. Sanganayaks, Mahatheras, erudite scholars of more than 30 countries are participating in the conference, which is the testimony of the importance of convening the conference like this in today's world. The term socially engaged Buddhism that was deliberated in detail essentially signifies an active involvement of Buddhist members in society and its problems, based on the ethical and social teachings of traditional Buddhism, means of suffering through various forms of oppression, injustice, and the like. From March 17 to 19, for a period of 3 days, Buddhist masters, venerables, scholars, and delegates gathered at the historic venue of RICC, Rajgir International Convention Center, Bihar, to discuss how Buddhism can contribute to resolving the issues facing humanity at this crucial stage in the 21st century. The conference commenced with an inaugural function in which His Holiness the Dalai Lama, as the chief guest, gave the inaugural address. This was followed by a presentation by Dr. Mahesh Sharma, Ministry of Culture, Government of India. There was an auspicious gathering of Buddhist masters from various traditions in the presence of His Holiness the Dalai Lama, in which they discussed on various issues. In the plenary session, speakers gave keynote addresses on 5 themes of the day. They began with a plenary session in which His Holiness the Dalai Lama and the Mahanayaks from different Buddhist countries shared their views, followed by a question and answer session from the audience. Keynote speakers gave their presentations on the topics of Buddhist holy sites and heritage, women in Buddhism, Buddhism, tradition, diversity and development, Buddhism and global engagement. Day 3 and adopts the following declaration. A Buddhist approach to conflict avoidance and peace building involves knowing that any problem only exists on the relative level. No matter how big a problem seems, it is essentially impermanent. It comes from neglecting human values. Any secular ethics should involve from the outset 2 fundamental recognitions. First, the recognition of our shared humanity and our common interest in happiness. Secondly, an understanding of our independence. This will contribute to better mental and physical health of one and all. Many ancient Buddhist sites in India are currently only partially excavated, and a lot more archaeological work is required to reveal and properly preserve Buddhist heritage sites across India, as well as to improve connectivity for tourism and pilgrimage. interested parties in foreign countries can also be involved in such projects. I once again welcome Honorable President, Honorable Sammanti Vasudachanam, Avyayena cha Sammanti, is Dhammo Sanantanam. Hatred is indeed never appeased by hatred in this world. It is appeased only by love, kindness, and this is an ancient law. Thank you once again for your time.
I now request Mr. Robert Hepburn, former Executive Secretary of UN Convention on Migratory Species UK, to kindly make a presentation of an overview of this conference.
Minister, Vice-Chancellor, honourable delegates, ladies and gentlemen, it is a great privilege not only to have been invited to participate in the International Buddhism Conference during the last 3 days, but also to be able to express my thanks this afternoon. It is clear from the atmosphere and outcome of this conference that Buddhism has an enormous contribution to make in saving and protecting the web of life on the only planet we've been given, and guiding us to be much, much better stewards in future. This is perhaps not a surprise to many of you, because Buddhism has always cherished the environment. As I mentioned yesterday, the world's very first nature reserve was created by Buddhists in Sri Lanka in the 3rd century BC. While I am not a Buddhist, it is clear to me that the 5 precepts of Buddhism, and indeed many Buddhist perspectives, are very relevant to creating a better environment now for humans, animals and plants. One of the themes that's come out of this conference is that vegetarianism is an obvious example which can combat climate change, save species and stop animal cruelty at the same time. There is also the desire to halt overpopulation, deforestation, unsustainable consumption and consumerism. All these sentiments and more are contained in the final declaration of Nalanda. None of this would have been possible without the remarkable commitment and farsightedness of the Buddhist community led by His Holiness the Dalai Lama, of the Government of India, of the state and regional authorities, and above all, the University of Nalanda, whose Vice-Chancellor I was pleased to meet earlier today when he personally showed us around the sites, the important Buddhist sites in this area. I would like to thank him personally for his tireless work of leadership. And thank you indeed to you all, and to all the Sangha scholars and other delegates who have made this such a memorable event. I hope that as experts we have contributed something to the results, and in developing what the Vice-Chancellor described as socially engaged Buddhism. I know I've learned something, and I hope other experts have learned something too. I've learned that I need to go back and consider becoming a vegetarian again, as I was as a young man. Can I extend my congratulations and heartfelt thanks to all who have made this conference so very successful and memorable. Thank you again. Thank you.